I saw a video by a famous linguist and from Rome, and it seems to me that first of all, I don't like videos where the title is nowhere inside. The title, "Do I speak 14 language?" And I tell you right that now, no, you don't. It's impossible. Nobody can speak fluently 14 languages, and even if he could speak very fluently, it means he doesn't have time to take a shit, to take a walk, and have a normal life. So I'd say it's a no win situation. When it comes to Greek, the problem is when you want to immediately upload a video where you speak the language and you're ready for not ready for it. It means I give you an example. Many people upload videos where they speak Italian and cannot pronounce double consonants. Or there's a lot of so this what I criticized, but he said he thought I was just a negative person. No, my criticism was very pointed, very specific, and but sometimes we need bad, bad criticism, and in spite of what he says in the whole video, where he doesn't face the fact that the title line is "Could I speak 14 language? Do I speak 14 languages?" And I say, no, even if you did, there's no evidence of that, because you need a person who can check 14 languages, and you need at least 6, 7 people maybe that speak 3 languages each one, and they get together and they can only assess what you say during the video. And so basically all these polyglots, it's like magicians. Take them as magicians. What's the difference? Magicians, we know there's a trick and we enjoy. Why nobody thinks that magician can actually do disappear things. There must be a trick. Okay, I'll tell you something. When you have somebody speaking the 14 languages, there's always a trick. Where is the trick? He prepared, he recorded the video several times, he had somebody train him, he, whatever. The good impression you have on the video is not 100% his real life ability to speak the language. Okay, I know that. I've been dealing with language learning and language teaching both as a teacher and as a learner. And I tell you that this trend towards hyper, not polyglot, hyperglots, that's a word I coined, is leading nowhere. Nobody needs to use the same strategies that a person uses to learn 14 languages. That's my take. The strategy that you use to learn 1 or 2 foreign languages, one or two foreign language, is not the same that those polyglots have to learn 14 languages. What's the difference? You do not learn the language to upload videos on YouTube. You need the language to use in real life. What's the difference? I'll tell you. The difference is the importance that you attach to the pronunciation is less. Do you know why? Because when you have a video, nobody can judge you, but the whole knowledge of all the idioms, all the specific vocabulary that you know, and they cannot assess your real language knowledge. I tell you that sometimes my accent is very good, sometimes it's bad because I'm tired, I am sleepy, or I've been speaking another language or watching other videos in another language. So, okay, if you really know the language 100%, this doesn't happen to you. So I'd say this: these people need to appear. Why? Because they build their career from YouTube to real life through getting attention. When you get a huge amount of attention because you seem to speak fluently 10 languages, you can have a collaboration with people who are in the language teaching industry, and they take you as a testimonial, and they make you show their material in their videos. From that point on, you're not a free man anymore. You are, you know, not believable. Why? Because you've been paid by a company. You work for that company. So your expression on that approach towards language teaching, and from the apex of the linguist is the loss of credibility. That's it. And I agree that it's easier to say that people, when you touch the language I've been dealing with a long time, and I hear ton kikulon. Okay, can happen. Not every time you do that. It's something that is not, but is not. It's that you never do that. You've never been speaking with a real person, Greek, that says, okay, I have this problem. This is the problem. Okay, sometimes we think we speak well, but we don't. And contrary to the common sense, constructive, let me tell you that when you're on the web, you need to have a thick skin. But another thing is that you don't get a thick skin through denying the bona fide of a comment. That's what all people say. Oh, that's constructive. I deal with you. That sometimes really, people are really mad at you for the good reasons. Sometimes people, not every time, there is a passive-aggressive new attitude. I don't have a passive-aggressive attitude. If I write things, I write them straightforward. So it's very easy to put everybody into a pigeonhole that is the person is jealous. No, it's not easy. There are, but I wouldn't say once you speak a language very well, I wouldn't say that. I mean, I tend to avoid to use the envy card. It's a boomerang. Once you say people are envious, it's going back at you. It's the worst thing you can write or you can say. After all, who do you think you are? I mean, most of people, I'm sorry, most of people, and I'm not a linguist, I'm not trying to learn 10 languages. I'm not jealous of one who speaks or shows that he speaks, because nobody assessed privately all of these languages, and that's the truth. But I don't tend to do that. The language I speak, it doesn't speak better than I do, so why should I care? But since it gives information, on a constant basis on languages, and I've been reading books and been in language learning since I was 20, and I'm 56. I know one thing or two. You cannot dismiss, oh, he's a jealous. I'm not jealous. I'm not into hyper learning. I'm not into learning 10 or I think it's not something you can propose to common people. Okay? It's not something that should be an example for common people. It's not like the more I know, the more the better. I'm not into this, so I cannot even get into that. I'm telling you that it's already difficult to learn one or two languages the right way. So I should spend a lot of time, and streamlining all the language learning is like taking the fun out of it. Why? Because it's like you're always courting a girl and another girl, and you want to be with 10 girls, and every time you need to have a date, to give flowers, to do whatever you need to have this girl with you. When you have one girl and you overcome the period, I don't say you don't get out, you don't go to restaurants, but you enjoy also the common life. What? You enjoy the fact that you learn the language and you can watch a movie, you can watch videos, or you understand 99% of what they say. So you're not into learning the language, but you're into using the language. You cannot appreciate this if you're constantly adding new languages and you need to brush up on the language you already know in order not to forget them. And I'm speaking about this because I'm facing a fourth language. I'm always asking myself, okay, it's something I want to do before I die. I want to learn Turkish, maybe not 100%, but to be quite fluent. I'll take my time. But the example of people who say that some people are not, sorry, I got twisted in knots. Not every time a person is apparently negative, he's really negative, or he has a hidden agenda, or is jealous. Sometimes people are genuinely mad at what they read because they think it's wrong. Okay? And sometimes you get more from this than people who, oh, this is wrong, this is wrong. If you just made technical mistakes, some people can correct technical mistakes. If somebody says something that the other person thinks is out of this world, it can happen. It's life. You don't have to think that he's a negative person. I met people who apparently respect you, and they are pieces of shit, or pieces of shits, assholes. And I saw other people who apparently attack you with bad words because that's their attitude. Some people have a different, when you write comments, you don't listen. That's a thing that I cannot accept from a person who learns languages and is into languages. You cannot hear the bloody tone, and most of the times you don't really know from a post that is not a preconceived piece of journalism, because we are not even journalists. You cannot really, you have a piece, and on that piece you assume that person is jealous. No, it doesn't work like this. A person can have many reasons to be apparently unkind towards you. You don't know what other videos he saw, what other things he heard that he doesn't agree with, and there comes a point when he expresses once his opinion in a very abrupt way. But that doesn't mean that his opinion is engendered by, is caused, or better said in spoken English, out of jealousy. But sometimes it really means that. Maybe the other person is wrong, but is really he really means what is written. You cannot every time assume that it's out of spite or jealousy. You know, somebody is jealous mainly when the other person is trying to do what you trying to do. Oh, have you ever seen me trying to speak many languages? It's very rare. I usually speak one language in one video. I never boast, oh, I'm that good, I learned that and I learned Greek in 3 months. No, I always say I've been learning Greek for 35 years. Come on. Should I be jealous? I know I can speak better in Greek, but I've been doing that for 35 years and I've been having a real life doing other things. I'm not into. I never tried to learn Japanese, Russian, Korean, or whatever language, Arabic. I'm not into that. So I shouldn't be jealous of. If you play the trombone, you can be jealous of somebody who plays the trombone. I say the trombone because I play the trombone better than you do. I'm not jealous of somebody who plays the bassoon. I never tried to play the bassoon. I can admire. Actually, I'd like to play the bassoon, but jealousy for everything, no. I don't feel jealousy, and most of people don't feel, because we usually feel that feelings more for people that we know, not everybody on the web. I never dealt with this linguist, and I don't care. The worst is not even in the same circle of people. I'm not in the circle of people who speak languages, several languages. I just give, I think, better, good advice to common people. Do you know why? Because I am one of them. I'm not one hyperachiever or hyperglots. It's a word I invented right now, of immediately, but it gives the idea. I think there is a point. It's like those Don Giovanni. That is a kind of mental state. You know, not to say a sick state, a sick mental state, but actually, it's on the verge of being a complex. You always need a new one and a new one and a new one. You know, like those people who want more and more and more money and are never satisfied. I'm like this. I know. I have several musical instruments, but I play them. And having a slightly different guitar doesn't imply a whole new learning, like a new language. A new language is like a child. That's the way I see it. A language is like a child. How many child can you have and giving all the affect they need? 3, 4, 5. Then it becomes like, I don't know, a farm, a children farm. Every language is like a child. Ask yourself, how many children can I take care of? Okay, that's why I stopped playing the clarinet and the saxophone even if it was good, because I know I couldn't make time for everything, and language learning is just a minimal part of my at least I cannot be jealous. I do other things. I play musical instruments. I play several musical instruments, so I cannot be speak many languages and play many musical instruments. It's not possible. I decided to devote, at least if I need to be jealous of anyone, I should be jealous of someone who does something I'm trying to do for a living, I did for a living. I used to teach English. I used to help people with Italian. I get out of it because um, I don't like it. I don't like language schools. I don't like the way people learn languages. I don't like the way language school manage the personnel and teachers. They don't give this a new liberal, neoliberal society. We are just clogs, not clogs, in the machine. We don't, and we are not treated like the ending part of the process. That's very important. Okay, I always tend to think the people who actually do things are more important than organizer. I have a prejudice, but that's what I think. I think that footballers are the main actors. Musical instrumentalists and singers are the main actors in music, and not people who organize events, evening, gigs, whatever. You need them, but the waiter is not more important than the cook. The owner, you understand? But it's the other way around. Okay, so I don't like my idea of language learning is disappearing. When you really know a language, the best thing you can do, the highest level, and when people don't pay you compliments because they don't even realize you're a foreigner, or you speak that well, so okay. He doesn't even need compliments. He speaks very well. We tend to pay compliments on people on our lower levels, That's the truth. If there are more people clapping and paying compliments on a concert, amateurish concert, than a professional concert, you take for granted that a professional can play the clarinet and be good. You can applaud at the end, but that's so commonplace that even for the player, okay, everybody gets a round of applause. So my point is, let's stay away from the "you're jealous" thing. It's something that is going to backfire. If you think that somebody is like this, I mean, maybe I'm humble, I don't know, I never think that people, maybe some people are jealous of our improvement because they hate us in the first place. It's different. For example, I had a quarrel over something at the beginning. I had a quarrel in the ukulele word about the way it is in Italy, and it's a circus around, it runs, it gravitates around a musical store, some string brand, one string brand that owns a store that sells a specific brand of ukulele that is made by the same, has to do with the same store and the same ukulele string brand that makes also strings for guitars, for that matter, all gut and plastic nylon strings. So I started having an ongoing argument with those people. So that reflected on their reaction to my videos where I play the ukulele. So it became a feud between me and some members of this, I think, very bad organized ukulele word in Italy. So it became a personal thing. So he attacked me, but that was not jealousy because he thinks I'm better. He was spite for the fact that I was improving, and since I was improving, all of what I say gets more relevance, attention, because I'm a better player. I don't think it should be like this, but anyway, if Massimo Varini says about something about a guitar brand has more resonance than what I say, okay? Because he's a better player, he's more famous. As I said before, sometimes some truth come from the common people that has no vested interests. I have no vested interest in the language word, but I think that my experience is as important as other experience, and even more important, because my experience is the experience of a person who doesn't try to learn 10, 12 or 14 languages. I'm a common person. People can say, oh, he made it, he can speak Turkish. He's not one of these hyperachievers who has seen like gods because they speak 14 languages. No, they're not gods, like magicians. I said before, they are like magicians. Take the thing the way it is. Don't really think that the ray can actually fluently speak. And I give a very high, attach a lot of importance of the word fluently. They cannot fluently speak 14 languages. It's just not possible. Why? Because we are awake 18 hours. We need to go to the bathroom, we need to wash ourselves, we need to eat, to prepare our food, and sometimes to do some other things. It's not, and in order to absorb a language on a certain level, you need to be exposed a lot. Let's say at least minimum half an hour a day, not to forget it, not to be very, very fluent. Let's say half an hour a day, 14 language, that makes 7 hours a day. That's 14 languages to be proficient. Okay? Let's say you want to be very, very proficient. You should skip life. That means having a girlfriend or a boyfriend, going on holidays, running on the street. You can run on the street and listen to the music, but anyway, listen to the language. You cannot listen to music because all your spare time you need to listen to the new languages, and you basically become a person detached from real life. Oh, this rings a bell. Many of those polyglots looks like this, and those who do not look like this, at the end of the day you discover they make mistakes like common people. They say certificate instead of certificate when the verb is certified. I heard I wanna to speak instead of I want to speak or I wanna speak. And I also, that speak only 3 languages, and only a 4th, make mistakes in English because, you know why? Because my idea of English is perfection. I'm not perfect. I try, but then I have to review Greek, and then now I want to speak Turkish, and if I don't want to speak Turkish when I'm 70-year-old, I have to forge on and push forward, and that means devoting, because at the beginning you need more time. Then when you attain a certain level, very high, you don't need so much time because you will never forget. You can lose some contact, you can be a little bit rusty. And I'm rusty more than Greek now, but I to watch things in order not to get under that level, just to, maintain that level. It's not possible unless you use these tricks. These tricks are a streamlined way of learning the language that dispense with absorbing naturally the language, because absorbing naturally the language would involve a lot of time. The result is better, no question about it. The other system, it goes against the grain, okay, of the way we naturally learn languages. So there's a lot of trying, listening, and repeating, when a genuine interest in the language and a will to embrace the language makes us more receptive to the language. How can you have this will and this love for 14 languages? And now you can dispense, or he or other linguists, because everybody who attacks their approaches to languages attacks their way of life. And one thing is that you have this thing, it's yours. Okay, there are some people who live with lions, with puma, with monkeys. It's an exception. I like to watch it, but it's not something that common people would do. And I'd say this, learning, the whole idea of Esperanto, for example, was born just because they know how difficult it can be just learning one foreign language. Okay? So they made just one language international very, very, very easy. What the inventor of Esperanto understand is not for everybody in this society to learn a foreign language. Now maybe things change. There's the internet. You can have access to a lot of videos, a lot of material. But in spite of that, most of Italians cannot learn one second language. So let's dispense with how can I maintain 14 languages, Nobody cares, or nobody should care, because not something the common people, normal common people would do. Different from this person who said that the other two people spoke about his Greek, one people was negative. No, I think without my negativity, maybe he wouldn't have taken the time to go to the other person and ask for help. But nothing that I wrote was not real. In life, it can happen that somebody is harsh. It's part of life. That doesn't mean necessarily that the person is harsh with you. He's harsh because he's jealous. I had teachers who were harsh, and they know things much more. They know things better than I do because they were teachers. I was a student. I never thought that they were harsh towards me because they were jealous. I repeat, in order to have a jealousy, you need to be very close to the person. Nobody's jealous because somebody's on a holiday with a beautiful girl if he doesn't know him. I'm not jealous of George Clooney. I can be jealous of my neighbor or somebody, a person who I dealt with. That's commonplace. Okay, so nobody's jealous of people who doesn't know. And nobody is jealous of a person who doesn't do more or less the things that you do. Okay? You've never seen a video where I tell you how to learn 5 languages. Oh no, I only spoke about how to go about learning a second top 3 languages. Third language. Okay? I wouldn't even recommend learning 3 2 was almost native languages, Italian and English, and Greek, and I wouldn't go for 4 languages. 4. It's too much. I know I'm doing too much. Okay? So why should I meddle with somebody who speaks 4? I was just speaking about that language. Okay? So obviously, I object to the fact that learning foreign languages is seen as a good thing. I object to that, and I give my opinion, and that is the elephant in the room. What's for? You know, and I tell you against what I do, but I know that most of people who excelled, they were doing just that. So now I will make a decision. Should I pick up the trombone and keep my guitar and ukulele player playing on that level, or should I improve on my guitar and ukulele player that involves also singing? I like to sing a lot. I cannot sing with the trombone, or at least I need a band to accompany me when I don't play the trombone and I sing. We need to make fucking decisions, and we need to know our limits. And our limits is time and how many things we do, and there's a ratio. And devoting more time to the things we like most, and not to the thing that impress more other people. I would learn Turkish even if I were on a desert island. Maybe less because I don't have a chance to go to Turkey, but it's something I want to do before I die. Okay? I never, I sometimes say 2 or 3 words in Turkish. Thanks you for watching this video. I never boast. I never, one thing because I'm not good, but I never prepare a whole video of 15 minutes where I prepare all my Turkish sentences and I read 10 times. I think that's not expression of who I really am. The same fact that I shoot a video that is 37 minutes long, it means I don't give a shit about having so many views, because nobody's going to watch this video for 40 minutes. But that's me. I say what I think, and I think before saying things. All this thing I'm saying right now is something I've been thinking about, because I saw one thing is common and people who show off. One thing is common: they give a lot of attention to pronunciation because that's the only thing that people can judge on, because I cannot judge on his vocabulary, on knowing many idioms, because I should ask questions and I should have a test. Since sounds repeat themselves and intonation is what you hear, I'm sure that these linguists are very good. I have a very good year. I don't know if that is inborn. I don't speak about things that I don't know. Actually, they have a good ability, inborn or acquired, to reproduce sounds. Not only sounds, also voices. These people can imitate not only the sound of one language, but the personal way of speaking of single people. These people can actually act like they know 15 languages. I don't say they don't know it, they don't know them, but I say that the way it's perceived by the viewer at home or on the streets, it's much higher than the reality. And when you hear, and you can tell that, because these people tend to have long conversations only in the languages they know well. And there's one linguist that I like a lot, and speaks about languages, and I have no envy. I mean, the person who I like the most is the people I don't envy. If I were envious, I would be envious over somebody who's really good. There's a girl from America who is in Japan and speaks perfect Japanese and perfect Chinese. And I believe her. She's very true. She limited herself to these two languages and she's very good. And I like her attitude towards languages. And even she said the same things. I don't go for learning many languages, but she's damn good at Chinese. And I see a lot of other people who are on the streets and speak several languages. There's one from Holland, there's another one black from, they speak Chinese. I say, but he doesn't speak very good Chinese. He's just, and there's all this hullabaloo, all this, these are really, I'm not into this. And I'm speaking right now, I'm not into this. Because it's, you know, in a way I can understand them, because they make no bones, some of them, that they are not perfect, that they like to speak several languages, but sometimes the level is so low, there's some, they know very little, when they use with foreigners, it makes have a contact with those people, and that is something that could make sense. Showing an interest for the language of the place, and knowing the capital and what language are spoken in those countries. It's a general interest for languages. It's not collecting and knowing very well. One thing I'd say after all this video, stick to few languages. Stick to few languages. Don't have I always forget, don't eat more than you can chew. Don't chew more than you can eat. Don't have a lot on your plate. It's all the opposite of what other people say. So the point is, I'm not jealous. I don't share the point of view. I don't share it at all. Okay? Try to absorb the language in the most natural way. If I need to, I don't know all the textbooks, but I think that Asimil is very good, and I'm learning Asimil also through Turkish. That is a language that the structure is similar to Japanese, but I'm learning it. Do you know why? Because I don't have so much to do. I don't have to juggle 14 languages. And I strongly recommend ask yourself questions if you want to learn more than 2 languages. Okay, ask yourself question. Did I get into language intoxication? Is what is the you see, I speak English, and I even forget words in English, and I speak just 4 languages, 3, not even 4. Is that or what? Goodbye.